committee, and the meeting went a little longer than we thought. So I apologize keeping you guys waiting. Hopefully we'll let you know I was running late. So, but great to see everybody. Thanks for joining us virtually again. And hopefully the light at the end of the tunnel is near here and a lot of people are getting vaccinated. We can get together in person. First off, I want to congratulate Zach Tom for being named an ACC postgraduate scholar. This is awarded to students who intend to get a postgraduate degree. Zach's an outstanding player, great student, and a really good leader in our program, and he is pursuing his MBA at Wake Forest. And the last guy to get this award was Cam Serenay, so that's a pretty good tradition we have. Congratulations to Kevin Johnson for signing with the Titans. Always good to see Deeks make and stay in the NFL. We had a number of announcements regarding our strength and conditioning staff. And so we're glad to have that unit solidified under Chad Berry's leadership. And I think we're full speed ahead. We got a great group there, and those guys are working really well together and with our team. And we're a week away from Pro Day. So we're excited to get Boogie and a lot of our former players back here, and that they have a chance to show off their skills to a bunch of NFL scouts. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of people here, and it's just exciting how that event continues to grow for us every single year. We've had 3 really good practices. Love the energy level. We purposely delayed the start of practice this year from late February to mid to late March, just because of how long the season was. And right now, I think that was a good decision. The energy level of our team, we've had 3 very spirited practices. The depth, we have 3 groups running. We've never been able to do that before. So, we're fine tuning the 1s and the 2s. We're developing 3s. And again, the goal is to have a robust roster that has depth. And we just got to keep these guys healthy so they continue to practice and get better. But we've had 3 really good practices. We're going to do 4, 5, and 6 tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. And then we'll be on a schedule of 3 a week for the next 3 weeks, wrapping up in mid-April. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions you may have.
Dave, just how would you, I guess, kind of quantify how the first 3 practices have gone? Is there anybody that's kind of stood out? Any different position groups that have really sparked your interest? Who's some of the key guys and key position groups that have kind of flashed early?
Yeah, I mean, you could almost go through every group. I mean, I'll start in the secondary, that getting Gavin Holmes healthy again. I mean, he's looked good. He's quick. Kalen Carson, all the extra work he got, I think is gonna really pay off. To me, JJ Roberts and Nick Anderson and Zion Keith, those guys to me are growing every day. At linebacker, Luke certainly looks very natural at linebacker. I think that's a move that's going to pay off for us. And I think Jalen Hudson and Chase Jones have really already just showed a lot more instincts. They're playing faster. They understand the defense better. Up front, the 2 young freshmen, Jasheen Davis and Kendron Wayman, are certainly at times flashing. I think Justin Williams and Will Smart have taken a step forward. And a lot of this is just from the strength and conditioning program. These guys are much closer in terms of weight and strength to be able to play ACC football than they were in the fall. And then on the offensive line, we got all the starters back, but seeing a guy like George Sell or Christian Forbes or CJ Elmanis and guys like that start the next stage in their development, Devontae Gordon, I think our 2 offensive line looks a lot closer than we were a year ago. I feel really good about the receiver position. Donald Stewart's a guy that the first 3 practices has really impressed. He looks a lot more comfortable, a lot more confident than he did in the fall. that would be a big +1 for us. Exciting to see what Casey can do. He's still learning the offense, but he certainly flashes. Keyshawn Williams is a guy that has shown improvement. And then you get to the running back position, and really all of them. I mean, Justice Ellison, getting Quentin Cooley back, Amani Marshall and Christian Turner have all flashed. So again, we've kind of all those returning starters, and now it's investing reps in that next wave. And again, it's a broken record, trying to develop that depth that's evaded us, and we got to develop those guys and then try to keep the older guys healthy.
Dave, the governor has allowed more spectators at sporting events, at outdoor events. I'm sure you saw that. And you mentioned that you probably won't have a spring game. Does that change the fact that maybe 50% of your fans could go to a game, or is it still, you guys just going to kind of wait and see on that? We're
going to wait and see. Part of that is, it's a state decision, but then it's also an institutional decision. And, we got to see where Wake Forest is with that. So we'll wait and see. Again, I'm planning to not have one, but whatever we would do that last practice, we could easily do that in front of a crowd if we had to.
And looking ahead to the fall, I mean, that bodes well too, that you can almost get 15,000 if we're at about the same stage when we get to the fall. That's a lot better than you did last fall, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping if we're at 15,000 now, by the time we get to September, it's 30,000. So again, we're going to take an optimistic view of it. I'd rather be safer on the front end to help ensure the back end.
Dave, I don't think we had a chance to talk to you directly after the schedule was announced. And, John just mentioned the opportunity to play in front of fans. I'm sure that's something your team's excited about. But what did you think about the way the schedule kind of came together, the placement of the bye week, the 3 Big 4 games all together in a row? Just your general thoughts on the schedule.
Oh, it's all good. I mean, I like having, a couple games at home to start. I like that the bye week is somewhere in the middle of the season. Certainly you'd like to have those bye weeks before you play the option teams in Army. I like the fact that those, the Big 4 games are late in the year. You want to play meaningful games late in the season, and anytime we play NC State, Duke, or Carolina, those are all big games that our fans are excited about. Certainly finishing at Clemson and at BC. Hopefully the goal's in November that we're still in the race for the Atlantic Division Championship, and our goal we'd love to get to that Clemson game, with a shot to win the Atlantic.
Dave, you talked about a lot of, having so many extra players in the spring, and has it been crowded at all, or have you guys found spaces for everybody just because you have so many more personnel this spring?
What we've done, John, is usually in the spring we just run two groups, and we've run 3 groups. And so typically, if we go what I call racks of 5, we'll go 10 reps, 5 with the 1s, 5 with the 2s. What we've done is we've done 3 racks. And so it really serves 2 purposes, that we're getting a lot of reps to our 2s and our 3s. And because we have so many returning starters, the starters are actually getting a smaller percentage of the reps. So we're not exposing them as much to potential injury. These are guys that have played a lot of football for us, with all those, the 9th, 5th, and 6th year guys coming back. They need to play football. They need to get in shape. They need to go through their reads. They don't need the normal investment of reps you have to make in a group in the spring when you have that many returning starters. And so we've just kind of structured our team periods and our Skelly periods a little different to ensure that we're giving all those mid-semester freshmen and guys that didn't play last year, we're giving them a chance to develop. And at the same time, we're trying to protect our older guys a little bit.
Coach, are you looking for those older guys to be the mentors on the sidelines, even though they're not, getting as much reps right now, but to kind of help those young guys right now?
Yeah, and we always start them off, and they've got to set the example and the standard of how we do things. And then, when the young guys see them run plays and they go in there, hopefully they're not making the same mistakes. And so, as you can imagine, our first and second offense, our first offense and defense right now, we're very advanced. Our installation is way ahead. We're doing things 2 or 3 days ahead of schedule just because of all the players that are back. It didn't have to be the base day one install. Those guys know it like the back of their hand. So we're able to do a lot more schematically with the ones because we're at a further starting point. And then when they watch the film, the younger kids can see how the offense is going to evolve now. So that their installation for the younger guys is a little slower, a little less involved, but they can see what plays they've got to learn while they're just still running the base plays.
Dave, among the 8 incoming freshmen, I believe, that enrolled early, have they had a rude awakening to what college practices are about compared to some of the high schools that they came from?
Well, the real challenge is a lot of these guys didn't even play high school football. So a lot of them are playing their first snaps of football since their fall of their junior year. So some of them played a few games in the fall, but a guy like Matt Golban from Connecticut, this is the first time he's played since the fall of 2019. So it's baptism by fire. We go through it every year. We just have a few more of them this year, but I mean, overall, they've picked it up well. They got through the awakening really well. It's a pretty mentally tough group. And like our strength coach likes to say that, every year, I think the size, athleticism, strength of what we bring in every year incrementally gets a little better.
Dave, when we talked to Trayvion Redd last week, he talked about being cross-trained in multiple positions and that he'll be asked to do many different things this coming season. Where all can you see him playing and lining up in the fall?
Well, he'll play rover. He'll play safety. He probably could play linebacker. That is where we can help our depth. When you have guys like Luke Masterson, who have played a high safety, that have played rover, that have played linebacker. Part of the ways of creating depth is having more people. Part of the ways of creating depth is have guys that can play multiple positions. So, if Nasir Greer can play both high safety positions, if JJ Roberts can play rover and high safety, if Zion Keith can play safety and corner. You want to get that you're playing your 5th or 6th best defensive back and not your 3rd or 4th best corner. And so we're actively trying to cross-train players at multiple positions, especially on defense, so that we have that position flexibility that we can get the best 11 on the field. Our linebackers are learning both linebacker spots. Some of our linebackers are learning rover. Some of our rovers are learning safety. Some of our safeties are learning corner. And so if we have to simplify things a little bit to get the best players on the field, that's something we felt we have to do.
I know it's a moving target, but how's it looking for late summer camps and potentially late summer visits in terms of recruiting?
I think right now there's an anticipation that we're going to be able to have camps. So, it seems to be trending that it'll open back up in June. Again, things can change, but if the vaccine can continue to show it's effective, I'm sure we'll have protocols. I don't think it'll be back to the way it was, but maybe we'll be in a little bit of a halfway point that we can have camps and unofficial visits and official visits, probably with limited numbers, and there might be certain protocols still in place that we have to follow.
Are you still finishing up each practice, chatting with the specialist, or have you picked a different group to visit with?
No, they're my guys. So, if you get to hang out with a Zach Murphy or a Nick Skiba, you don't give those things up now.
What kind of wit and wisdom has Nick Skiba shared with you since camp started?
When we get together after practice, we don't talk about football too much. So it might be, what shows they're streaming, what papers they have that day, how his dog's doing, what he caught fishing the last time he went out. So, we don't talk about ball placement or punting or kicking. We talk about whatever's going on in their life.
And hopefully you don't talk about The Bachelor, right?
No, I did kind of catch the end of it there though. So, no love found, I guess.
Anything else for Coach, guys? All right, we're all set. Appreciate you, Coach.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep. Take care.